Today we've got games 3 and 4 of the Western Conference Finals here in Season 5 of the Portland Trail Blazers MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K24. Last episode we had games 1 and 2 against Sacramento, ultimately splitting them to have the series tied at 1. Game 1 of this series did not go well at all, especially offensively. Darius Springer on one leg had half of our points. He scored 48 along with 19 boards and was the only player on the roster to shoot above 50% from the field. In 36 minutes, he was a -4. In the 4 minutes he was not in the game, our team got outscored by 12. And unfortunately, that has been a trend throughout the postseason. We need our second tier of stars to step up. Khalil Griffin went 6 for 17. Shaedon Sharpe, 2 for 13. He shot a toward 8. And Scoot Henderson really didn't make much of an impact either. I think Kristaps Porzingis was the only other guy who wasn't that bad, which is ironic because he was benched in the last series for literally not trying. Amel Wright, Jaden Prospero, Apollo Cone, and Midnight Hopkins all played pretty well. Joel Embiid was held in check, but other than that, their other 4 starters were pretty good. Going into game 2, I called some guys out, hoping they would step up. It's a core 4 with 4 stars, but it feels like Springer's the only one who's been consistent throughout this playoffs. I challenged Scoot, Sharpe, and Griffin to step up, and I feel like they did. Darius Springer still led the team in scoring. He wasn't all that efficient, though, and we were -7 in the 4 minutes he was out, which, again, still isn't ideal. But everybody else produced. Shaedon Sharpe, 10 for 12. Khalil Griffin, 8 for 11. Scoot Henderson, a lot better, 20 and 7 with only 1 turnover. These 3 guys all played a lot better, and I was hoping to see somebody other than Springer lead the team in scoring in this game, and while that didn't happen, it's because Springer shot the ball a lot more than them, which is fine. Amel Wright had 38, Midnight Hopkins had 34, but the other 3 starters, Jaden Prospero, Apollo Cone, and Joel Embiid, combined to go 6 for 35. That's not good, is it? I feel like the problem of Sacramento is they didn't lean on their top 2 scorers enough. Amel Wright and Midnight Hopkins are the 2 best players on this team, and they were both incredibly efficient in this game, but they just didn't get the ball enough, and the other 3 starters shot them out of the game. A trend that I've noticed here is we have a plus-minus of 9.5 here in the playoffs. In about 34 minutes a game, Darius Springer is at 14.5, meaning in the 6 minutes he does not play, our team gets outscored by 5. That's pretty bad. If you average that out to a full 40-minute game, we'd be getting outscored by around 30, which, again, is not great. We need Shaedon Sharpe, Khalil Griffin, and Scoot Henderson to continue to step up. All 3 of them played pretty well in Game 2, which was certainly refreshing to see, but we're going to need them to continue to show up. As for Darius Springer, we currently have him slated to play the whole game. It's sort of going to be a game-by-game thing with him. If he plays well early, we might keep him in the whole game. If not, then we're going to have him sit for a couple minutes, usually in the first half. Our team is fully healthy with Darius Springer no longer injured, but I can't say the same for the Kings. Their injury screen was blank going into Game 1, but Joel Embiid strained his hip, Jaden Prospero strained his hip, and Davion Mitchell twisted his ankle. All 3 of them will play through injury, but it's certainly not ideal for a Kings team who has stayed fully healthy through the entire duration of the playoffs. And now Joel Embiid's going to be nursing this hip injury for the rest of the year. Jaden Prospero is going to be dealing with it for the rest of this series. And Davion Mitchell has to play through an ankle injury as well, and he has been probably their best bench player up to this point through the first 2 games. Should be interesting to see how things unfold here on the road in Sacramento. Our team has played really well this postseason on the road. We have been undefeated away from home, with our only 3 losses being on our own home court. But obviously Sacramento's quite a bit better than the Lakers and the Jazz, who we've played in the first 2 rounds. And obviously this is a loudy group of fans looking to light the beam as the tip-off between Embiid and Porzingis will go to the Blazers, and we are underway here with games 3 and 4 of the Western Conference Finals, series tied at 1. Both sides looking to take the edge as Embiid has the mismatch with Scoot. Porzingis tries to help, but Prospero's open for 3, and it's good. Nice ball movement by the Kings to set up the mismatches, leading to an open 3 as Scoot Henderson drives right side. Sharpe, contested corner 3 is good. And Shaedon Sharpe responds with a 3 of his own, coming off a great game 2 in which he only missed 2 shots. Prospero with it on the drive. He's fouled. Layup is good. And one for Jaden Prospero, who played really well in Sacramento's Game 1 win, but shot 4 for 18 in Game 2, a big reason why they lost. Paulo Cone also did not shoot well in that second game, only making 1 field goal, but he gets the 3 to fall, and the Kings are looking good early. They lead 9-5. Wright's triple. That one's good. And the Kings are 3 for 3 from deep here in the opening 2 minutes of this game. Springer on the drive. The lefty throwdown. Good to see him fully healthy, dealing with the injury earlier as it's 12-7. Hopkins with it on the drive, looking to get somebody open. Instead, he's going to send the floater up himself, and it's good. Midnight Hopkins coming off a great second game of his own with 34 points, but as I said earlier, he did not shoot the ball enough. Scoot to Springer, wide open 3. That one will fall, and it's 16-10. Both offenses have been great so far. Scoot Henderson with it, gets the screen from Porzingis. Henderson, layup is good as Embiid tries to draw the charge, but in typical Joel Embiid fashion, he flops to the ground. 16-12 now. Sharp with it over to Griffin. Gets the screen. Griffin, jumper is good. And although Khalil Griffin hasn't been as efficient here in the playoffs as he has in the regular season, those mid-range shots are still going to fall with ease. 16-14 now. Here's Springer. Wide open 3 for the lead is good. Leaving the MVP wide open from 3 is a bold strategy, Cotton. Not defending him as he drives inside is also a bold strategy, and Springer's got 10 early. 19-18, halfway through the quarter. Khalil Griffin, pump fake over to Sharp. He gets the fake over to Scoot Henderson. Left wing 3 is good. 5 points and 5 dimes for Scoot Henderson. He's done really well as a facilitator here in the early going. Cone heaves up a prayer, and it's answered. A shooting masterclass from both teams here in the first quarter. Sacramento back ahead. Seconds winding down on the clock. And it's Scoot Henderson with the poster over Embiid. 1 point lead now for Portland. Here's Kamari White to inbound it. Both teams starting to bring in their second units. Embiid, corner 3, no good. Rebounded by Midnight Hopkins, who will get the putback. Hopkins is faster than defenders his size, and obviously he's bigger than guys who had the speed and explosiveness of him, like Shaedon Sharpe. As Springer's in for another slam, he's up to 12 points here in the first quarter. Embiid with it inside, guarded by Logan. Hook shot is no good. Embiid's offensive struggles continue as he's down on the other end. 5-on-4 for Portland. Springer on the drive will be fouled. He'll get 2 at the line, but the big story here is Joel Embiid, who strained his hip back in Game 1, is hurt, and it looks like he's grabbing at that same hip. He likely re-aggravated the injury trying to play through, and that might have backfired. Amel Wright, wide open inside for the dunk. Shaedon Sharpe has not exactly played the best defense so far in this game. Abaji gets to Sharpe, over to Springer for 3. That one is off the mark. And the Kings look to push the pace here with around 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Wright, wide open. Again, where is Shaedon Sharpe going? Yikes. 30-27, Springer's trapped. Somebody's got to be open. It's Logan, who will eventually be defended quickly by White. Springer over to Sharpe. He's got Scoot Henderson for 3, and that one is good. We're tied at 30. The Kings are already doubling Darius Springer here in the first quarter. This time he isn't doubled, but still misses a good look inside, guarded by the smaller Jaden Prospero. And then on the other end, Kamari White looking for the lead. He gets it, posting up on Zay Logan. 32-30 now with under 15 seconds left in the quarter. Prospero's drive is good. And Sacramento is now up by 4. Portland looking for one more shot here at the end of the first. Scoot Henderson on the drive. And he is intercepted by Jimmy Butler and is blocked by Sharpe at the buzzer. And then Jaden McDaniel's shot is no good. That was a ballsy play by Sharpe because he could have easily fouled him. Got a cool block out of it. But yeah, not a very good defensive first quarter for Sharpe. Kings lead 34-32 into the second. Davion Mitchell, step back jumper. That one is good. That'll put the Kings ahead by 4. Abaji with it, gets it over to Springer, who is still in the game. This is normally when he'd be out, as he gets the assist to Damian Lillard, who makes a nice off-ball cut for the dunk. Here comes Khalil Griffin with it on the drive, gets it over to Lillard. Has Logan open. Good ball movement there by the Blazers. And now Zay Logan gets his first points of the game as we're tied at 36. Griffin lobs it up for Zay Logan. Again, phenomenal passing by Portland. Unselfish offense. And they take the lead, but possibly not for long as Amel Wright makes Abaji look silly. He's got 15, and the Kings are back ahead. Griffin with it, guarded by Wright, who's quite a bit smaller than him, so Griffin's going to look to take advantage. Pump fake, layup is good. And Portland is back ahead. Both teams trading the lead a little bit now. Springer with it, hands it off to Damian Lillard. Lillard drives right side, he's trapped, has Griffin, open three, is good! Khalil Griffin's got an early 9 points, and he's been efficient in the process. As here's Griffin with it on the drive, with the windmill! Lefty slam for Khalil Griffin. That's not easy for someone who is not left-handed. Portland's up by 6 now. Springer inside, takes a shot as he is blocked, and he appears to be hurt. Here comes Sacramento on the other end. They get a 5-on-4. Wright's three is good. 3-point game. Portland's not going to call a timeout. Springer's going to play through whatever injury he just suffered as Lillard hands it off to Porzingis. Porzingis on the drive. He will be fouled. And I imagine the Blazers are going to take Darius Springer out of the game here. As we take a look at the replay, you'll notice that he gets slapped by Kamari White. It looks like White kind of got him in the head a little bit, but he made most contact with his chest. Let's take another look at this replay. How is that not a foul? He got literally slapped, and that's how he gets injured. So now Portland's going to have to stay afloat without Darius Springer in the game, which has obviously been a challenge for this team throughout the playoffs, as Apollo Cone is in for the slam. Who knows if it'll be a few minutes or longer, but nonetheless, Portland's going to have to be able to right the ship as Scoot Henderson is in for the slam. He's up to 12-5. Khalil Griffin with it on the drive. Griffin looking to take the Springer role as the guy who's kind of in control of everything. Finds Scoot Henderson for three. He's up to 15 on the day. 52-44 now. Prospero. Fadeaway triple. That one's good. Quick response for Sacramento. We are within 5. Scoot Henderson with it. Gets some space. Nice shot on the move. And Scoot Henderson starting to heat up. 7 points within the last minute or so, taking off some of the scoring load that Darius Springer would have had on. And as you can see here on the bottom right, it's a bruised rib for Springer. So thankfully not a long-term injury. He can return to this game, but the plan is that he's going to sit out for the remainder of the first half, get some extra rest, so he'll be ready to rock and roll for the second half as Shaedon Sharpe hits the line 2. Another assist by Griffin, who continues to be very ball dominant here, and the offense has been more than fine with him leading the charge as he has Shaedon Sharpe in the corner for 3. Portland's now up by a dozen, and there I say they've played well since the injury as Cone is in for the and 1. Khalil Griffin called for the foul. Around 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Griffin's layup is off the mark, and here comes the Kings on the fast break. Amel Wright with it. Inside, Cone, layup, another foul! Back-to-back and ones for Apollo Cone, and all the momentum that Portland was able to build up with Springer out of the game has evaporated immediately. Around 20-ish seconds to go in the half. Scoot Henderson open lane. He's in with the layup, and he's got 19 here in the half. 61-53. Sacramento likely will get the last shot here at the end of the first half. Prospero with it. Drives right. Scoot Henderson has him in hell. 5 seconds to go now. Cone for 3. That one is off the mark. Logan's shot is blocked to end the half by Embiid. Certainly an interesting second quarter. I feel like the Blazers played pretty well, up by 8, but obviously overshadowed by a rib injury for Darius Springer, who will return at the start of the third quarter. As you'll notice, the Pistons won Game 3. They now lead the Knicks 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. So bearing an incredible 3-0 comeback, it looks like it'll be the Detroit Pistons in the NBA Finals. The Pistons have not lost a game since the first round. So if this series with Sacramento ends up going 6 or 7 games, the Pistons very well could have a lot of time waiting for the winner. As for us, I feel like we've done fine without Springer. Khalil Griffin's taken the load on the ball, and Scoot Henderson's done a great job off the ball getting open as a scorer. Springer's grades are hurt a little bit by his injury, most notably his scoring. D- inside, C+ 3-point shot. His defense is still good. His rebounding is still pretty good, but he's losing some athleticism and he's losing some scoring. The best asset of his game is not his defense, it's not his rebounding, it's not his athleticism, although those are all very important. It's his scoring, especially inside, as he gets the stop but can't grab the board, and Cone is in for the layup. If Springer was healthy, they would have never scored there. He would have grabbed the rebound, and Portland would have been able to move on offense. So the injury is very clearly affecting him, but got to give him credit for toughing it out. As Prospero is in for the layup, the Kings were down by 12 a minute ago. Now they're only down by 4. Sharp hands it off for Scoot Henderson. Scoot on the drive. Contested layup is good. And we'll see if Scoot Henderson is able to continue to score the ball at such a high efficient level. He's up to 21, a team high. Prospero to Embiid for 3. And it's a one-score game. The Kings have brought the lead within 3. Springer's triple is off the back iron, his first shot since the injury. And here comes Sacramento on the other end. Apollo Cohn with it. Layup is good. And we are now within 1. Cohn has certainly been a lot more effective than he was in the last game. Springer takes another 3. That one once again off the mark as he tries to get comfortable shooting the ball, knowing that he's not going to be able to score much from inside. Cohn tries to lob it up for Hopkins. It's off the mark. Cohn gets it back for the lead. No good. Hopkins gets it back, and Sacramento will get a third chance. It's Amel Wright with it off the handoff from Embiid to Prospero. Back to Wright. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Wright to Embiid. That one is no good. Portland gets 3 separate stops. They'll keep the lead. Here comes Springer on the fast break. Pump fake. Hoping to get somebody out of this as he gets it to Porzingis. Over to Griffin. Gets the screen from Porzingis. Griffin on the drive. Griffin with the slam. Looking to stop the run. He's up to 13 points on the day. Putting some power on that one as it's 65-62. Wright brings it up. Wright drives right side. And the floater is good. We again are within 1. Wright was a little bit quieter in that second quarter, but he's getting hot once again as Khalil Griffin's 3 is off the mark. Springer with the rebound. Good play. Out to Porzingis on the drive. Pump fake. Layup is good. Nice job by Springer. Grabbing the offensive rebound. Still doing the dirty work with the injury. And a good finish by Porzingis. As Prospero's shot is no good. Nice defense by Scoot Henderson, who's been awesome in this series defensively. Griffin, pump fake. Probably should have taken the 3. Instead, he gets out of it. Over to Scoot Henderson on the drive. Layup is blocked! What a play by, I believe, Midnight Hopkins, who got a hand on it. On the other end now, it's Amel Wright, and the Kings down by 3. Wright, guarded by Shaedon Sharpe. Sharpe's had a rough one defensively in this one, as the Kings are able to get the mismatch. Embiid, guarded by Scoot Henderson, and Embiid is blocked! What a play by Porzingis, who's able to get there just in time. Griffin, transition, 3 is good! What a sequence for the Blazers, a 5-point swing, as Wright heaves up a prayer, nearly goes in. And here comes Portland on the fast break, up by 5. Springer, mid-range jumper is no good. He's now 0 for 3 here in the third quarter. And that was a big chance for Portland in transition. He was open too. And Hopkins ends up getting an and 1 layup on the other end. A big sequence for Sacramento. They're back within 1 score, and Darius Springer is out of the game. Portland's trying to get him some rest going into the 4th, as Ochai Agbaji is open for 3. Again, Portland's going to continue to try to right the ship without Springer. Scoot Henderson is also not in the game right now. He's been their best player today. So Shaedon Sharpe, who makes the layup there, along with Khalil Griffin, are going to need to be on their A game, along with the other 3 guys in. Here's Hopkins on the off-ball cut. Gets the reverse dunk. We are within 5. Prospero with it, guarded by Agbaji, looking to get some space. Open 3 is good. Agbaji was expecting drive. He tries to get around the screen, but he doesn't realize all the space he's opening up, as Griffin is in with the poster. First off, a really nice crossover on Butler, and then a big-time slam over Midnight Hopkins. Griffin continuing his impressive performance. Here's Amel Wright with it. Looking to get Hopkins open on the screen. I don't know what Agbaji's doing, as Hopkins is in for the slam. Ochai's a great defender, but here in this third quarter, he's had some questionable plays as he backs down on Amel Wright. Agbaji knows he's bigger and stronger, taking advantage, and Portland's back ahead, 79-77. Here is Griffin with it, 18, 8, and 7. Hands it off for Zay Logan. He's blocked at the rim. Logan looks to get it back. Both sides fighting for it as Logan's able to dive on it, but it goes right to the Kings. And finally, they'll be able to get possession back. Hopkins over to Butler, guarded by Ochai Agbaji. Butler, pump fake. His layup is good, and the Kings tie the game now at 79. Portland back ahead, though, by 2. Butler gets it over to Davion Mitchell. Mitchell to White. He's blocked by Porzingis. What a play there by Kristaps Porzingis, who hasn't scored a ton today, but he's had another really strong defensive game. On the inbound, Mitchell with it over to Jaden McDaniels. Under a minute to go now in the third. Amel Wright with it. Wright, three. Blocked by Marsh, the rookie. With nobody in front of him. Mama, there goes that man. Caleb Marsh with an unbelievable play as he gets the block in transition with the emphatic slam. And it's a 4-point lead. Wright will go right back to it, and this time he hits the isolation triple. Amel Wright is a short mind, which is a good thing as a shooter. Here's Griffin, pump fake, Marsh, open three, bang! 5 points late in the third for the rookie, Caleb Marsh, looking to earn himself some extra minutes, and well, that's how you do it. Here's Khalil Griffin in isolation, looks to get it over to Lillard with seconds left in the quarter. Back to Griffin at the buzzer, no good. Portland was able to stay afloat there in the third quarter, only trailing by 4, despite Darius Springer really being a non-factor. He didn't score in 6 minutes before being taken out of the game, but he's back here in the fourth as he sets the screen on Prospero. Lob for Springer's unsuccessful, and Sacramento calls time. Prospero took a shot going into the screen from Springer. It wasn't an illegal play or a foul or anything like we saw when Springer got hurt, but Prospero appears to have injured his shoulder as Springer is there with the layup, his first points of the second half. 88-82. Davion Mitchell's three is off the mark. Springer with the rebound, his 10th. He's got a double-double. Looks to bring it up himself. Guarded by Mitchell. That's a mismatch. Springer, layup is good. Nice play in transition there by Springer. He already looks so much more comfortable than he did in the third quarter with the first 4 points here as he gets the steal. Springer, sharp, thinks about the shot, won't take. In for Porzingis! An and one slam for the big man as Kamari White is called for the foul. Portland on a 9-0 run to start the fourth. They're up by 13, their biggest lead of the game, as Amel Wright gets the floater to stop the run. But Portland's looking really good with this energy that Springer has helped give. White inside, no good. Nice stop by the Blazers. Springer with the board is 13th. Springer with it with a dime. That's a Baji. His layup is good. Ochai hasn't had his best defensive game, but he's been perfect from the field so far offensively. 97-84. Nice play by Apollo Cone. Smothered by Springer. Still makes the layup. Blazers call time up by 11 with 7.5 to go. There's Scoot with the crossover. Scoot, layup is good. Scoot Henderson is in his bag right now. 23 points on the day. 101-88. Here's Shaedon Sharpe with it. Sharpe guarded by Amel Wright on the drive. That one is no good. Rebound by Zay Logan. Logan has Scoot Henderson over to Darius Springer. Springer looks to get somebody open off at the screen as he gets it to Sharpe. Wright quickly closes out. Sharpe over to Abaji. Just seconds left on the shot clock. Abaji. His shot is good at the buzzer. Good possession there by Portland. They were patient, waiting for the right look, and they get it with Ochai Abaji. Sharpe, jumper, and the foul! And one for Shaedon Sharpe, and the lead is up to 18 with around 4 minutes to go. Portland can now feel like they're in control as they look to finish this one off. The Kings are not going to go out without a fight as Amel Wright hits the three. Scoot Henderson on the screen. Sidestep jumper won't fall. Rebound by Sacramento, and they're going to look to push the pace in transition. Jimmy Butler on the drive, in for the slam. Even at 38 years old, he can still get up there. 108-95, Khalil Griffin on the drive. He's intercepted. Henderson was wide open on the wing. I don't know what he was thinking. Here's Hopkins. Layup is good. We thought this game was over a minute ago, but now the Kings are back within 11. Here's Griffin with it on the drive. He's trapped. Griffin over to Scoot Henderson. Scoot looking for the screen. Fadeaway three. Bang! Big shot by Scoot. He's up to 28. Khalil Griffin with it. 2.5 to go. Griffin on the drive. Jumper is good. And Khalil Griffin puts Portland back up by 14 points. And again, the Blazers are now back in control as they look to once again finish this one off. But Amel Wright's not going to make things easy. Another three for Wright. We are within 11. Sacramento running the press. The lane is wide open. Henderson goes for the pull-up three. Could have had the easy drive, but instead he wants the big play. He's unsuccessful. Here's Amel Wright. Jumper is no good, but the putback is by Apollo Cone. 113-104. Griffin with it. Gets the screen by Porzingis. Griffin lobs it up. And Porzingis is there with the Latvian sledgehammer as Embiid tries to draw the charge. 115-104. Here's Amel Wright with it, guarded by Scoot. Jumper is good. Sacramento again within 9. But there's only a minute and a half to go. I imagine Portland's going to try to chew some clock here until they get an open shot. Here's Khalil Griffin with it on the drive. Griffin, pump fake, he's trapped. Somebody's got to be open. Here's Springer with it. He sends it over to Griffin. Right wing 3 is good! Khalil Griffin makes it a 12-point game with just over a minute to go. And now the Kings are going to have to start heaving some junk up quickly. Wright with a nice move inside. Layup is good. Amel Wright continuing to keep Sacramento in it offensively. He's running the point with Jaden Prospero not having returned since his shoulder injury. Here's Griffin with it. Has Scoot Henderson for 3. Bang! 31 for Scoot. And Griffin, meanwhile, gets his 10th assist of the game. That's a double-double. Hopkins is in with the slam. It's an 11-point game. Midnight Hopkins' light game, too, has been really efficient, but really hasn't gotten the ball enough. Sacramento runs the press. Scoot Henderson wide open. He's in for the slam and is up to 33 points on the night. That's Scoot Henderson's most amount of points in the playoffs this year. 123-110. Not looking good here for Sacramento as Amel Wright nearly loses it, but he gets it back. Wright over to Apollo Cone. Pump fake. Butler, 3. Off the mark. Griffin daring him to shoot. He's a rebound shy of a triple-double. Griffin takes it himself on the drive. Tries to get it over to Scoot Henderson. Nearly loses it. Gets it back. And Scoot Henderson has it. Heaves up a 3. It's good! What a shot by Scoot Henderson. That's 36 points. 16-point game. This one is as good as over. Jimmy Butler with it. Butler crossover over to Amel Wright for 3. That one is off the mark. Griffin with the rebound, his 10th. It's a triple-double. He gets it to Springer, who's going to dribble out the clock. And the Trailblazers steal this one on the road. 126-110. They lead the series 2-1. Darius Springer's injury in the second quarter really could have killed us in this game. But I give our team credit. We were able to battle back, even with Darius Springer clearly not looking like himself in that second half. I think Springer gave a positive impact, especially in the fourth quarter, but he wasn't the alpha in this second half. It was Khalil Griffin and Scoot Henderson. Scoot ends up getting the player of the game. I think that's the right call. As good as Khalil Griffin was, and Griffin was really the guy managing the offense, Scoot Henderson was just electric as a scorer. So you can't really go wrong here either way. Do you prefer the guy who was the floor general making the decisions with the ball, or the guy who was lights out scoring the basketball? Amel Wright had 39 points. He did it, though, on 33 shots, 7 of 19 from 3. He missed a lot in the second half. Midnight Hopkins, 21 points on 10 of 13 shooting. He shot 45% from 3 in the regular season, but did not attempt one tonight. That is inexcusable. In a game where the Kings shot the 3 ball 41 times and had Joel Embiid and Kamari White combined to go 2 for 15, you don't think Midnight Hopkins is going to get 1 3? I don't get that at all. As for Portland, Darius Springer, 21 and 15. I think this is his first game the entire playoffs where he didn't lead the team in scoring. Probably would have had he not gotten injured, but I like how he was able to kind of take a back seat in the second half. In the fourth quarter, he only shot the ball 3 times, but he still made a positive impact with 6 points, 6 boards, and playing really good defense inside. The Kings, again, really struggled to score the ball inside the paint. And Apollo Cone was only effective when he wasn't guarded by Springer. Our offense in that fourth quarter scored 40 points, and that was part of Springer being on the floor, but still kind of taking a back seat to the other guys, particularly these two. Scoot Henderson, 36 points on great efficiency. That was a spectacle that Scoot Henderson put on. I think he had 15 in the fourth. And then Khalil Griffin with a triple-double, and he was pretty efficient as well, a little bit over 50% from the field, which for his standards isn't that good, but considering what he's done in the playoffs, I'll call it a win. Overall, a great game from Scoot Henderson and Khalil Griffin. I wanted our second tier of stars to step up, and those two did. Shaedon Sharpe wasn't bad on offense. He had 6 assists. Defensively, he wasn't good in the first half. He was really good in the second half, though. And then Porzingis, some big plays offensively, 12 boards, good defense as well. Ochai went 4 for 4. Zay Logan, though, went 2 for 9. Not his best day in the office. But he was really the only guy who was inefficient. Everybody else made their shots at a high clip. Overall, a pretty good offensive day. So let's talk about the injuries for both sides. We'll start with Springer. Overall, pretty good news for the most part. His grades already look better. And best of all, it's only a one-day injury. So theoretically, he should be 100% for Game 4. If not, he should be really close. Sacramento's injury news was not so good as Joel Embiid re-aggravates his hip injury, and then Jaden Prospero, who's already dealing with a hip injury, now strained his shoulder. This is not something he can play through. As a basketball player, you kind of need your dominant shoulder. Otherwise, you can't shoot, you can't rebound, you can't pass, you can't defend, and you can't dribble. So basically, he's Thanasis Antetokounmpo right now. Okay, that's kind of mean, but you get the point. It's not something he can play through, and because of that, he's probably going to be out for Game 4. Prospero certainly hasn't been perfect in this series. He was really good in the first game, not as good over the last two, but he's obviously still the floor general for this offense, and it'll be Davion Mitchell who runs the point. We might see some Amel Wright as well. But I think it's going to be Davion Mitchell because Amel Wright isn't some great passer. He's a score-first player. When the ball is in his hands, he's not looking to dish it off to his teammates. Darius Springer, by the way, is not fully recovered, but his ratings are intact. So he's literally 99% healthy, and we are not going to limit his workload. If he can play the entire game, then he probably will. We're going to kind of make a judgment during the game if we want him to go the entire way or if he's going to sit 3 or 4 minutes. But obviously he's good to go. He will play. As for the Kings, Jaden Prospero officially out, which isn't really a surprise. The bigger surprise, though, is that Joel Embiid is also out. I thought the hip injury was something that he could play through, but I guess not. Kamari White will start in place of Embiid, and Apollo Cone will move over to the 5 as Sacramento wins the tip when we're underway. Kamari White is smaller than Cone, but I think Cone's better on the perimeter. He's kind of like Victor Wembanyama, especially offensively. So I'm curious to see if his role will change in that sense, as the jumper is good by Wright to get the scoring started. Kamari White misses the open 3. Griffin already with his second rebound. He gets it over to Darius Springer. Springer finds Griffin. Griffin, 3 is good! Pull-up jumper for Khalil Griffin will fall, and that'll make it a 4-2 lead for the Blazers. Midnight Hopkins with a dime inside for Amel Wright. We've seen Wright's shot creation from beyond the arc, but he can drive inside and get points in the paint as well. 6-4 Blazer lead now. Here's Hopkins with it on the drive. In for the slam. Midnight Hopkins needs to be more assertive, especially if Amel Wright plays on the ball more. That's going to lead to more scoring responsibility for Hopkins. There's the lob from Griffin to Springer as the Blazers get a big-time slam right back. Springer showing off some power. He does not appear to be too badly injured based on how he's looked here through the opening minutes tonight. Hopkins with it on the drive. Layup is good. And Sacramento's doing a good job of scoring in the paint. I feel like Joel Embiid's been a black hole for them offensively, and already he's out of the game, and their inside scoring looks a lot better. Scoot Henderson, jumper is good. His first points of the game coming off a 36-point outburst in Game 3. Hopkins, fadeaway triple is good. He's already got 7 here in the early going. Shot no good for the lead. Here comes Portland in transition. Shaedon Sharpe, pump fake out to Scoot Henderson. In for the throwdown. Nice play there by Scoot Henderson, continuing to show his value off the ball. That was kind of something that we weren't really expecting even going into these playoffs, but with Springer and Griffin really dominating the basketball, Scoot Henderson's found a new role and is getting really comfortable in it. Amel Wright's jumper is good. That'll bring the lead within 1, 14-13. Shaedon Sharpe with it on the drive. Gets it over to Scoot Henderson. Henderson finds Sharpe. Top of the key. Triple is good. While Scoot and Griffin have stepped up, Shaedon Sharpe hasn't really taken that next level outside of his great performance in Game 2. Hopefully he has a good game today. As Apollo Cone connects there, 17-15. Amel Wright with it, guarded by Sharpe. Wright, 3 is good. And Sacramento is back ahead. Here is Springer in the corner, gets the screen. Springer jumper will fall. He just looks so much more comfortable shooting the basketball. Looks natural, whereas it didn't in the second half of the last game. Here is Scoot, gets it over to Shaedon Sharpe. Sharpe on the drive, layup is good. And Portland adds to their lead. It's 21-18. Everybody's getting involved offensively early for Portland as that one is snuffed by Porzingis. Griffin throws it in and gets the save. Portland now in transition. Springer guarded by Mitchell. That is a mismatch as good of a defender as Davion Mitchell is, it's when he's guarding, guards, not guys who are 6'10 and are as strong as an ox. Here's Hopkins in for another slam. He's been busy inside. I said coming into the game he needed to shoot more threes, but I guess this works too, as Sharp punches it home with a huge slam. Take another look at this beauty. Showing off some power. He's got 7, starting to heat up. Scoot Henderson in takeover mode here as Mel Wright's jumper on the move is good. That's a long 2 for Wright. Continuing to show off his impressive shot making. 25-22. Wright back with it. Wright on the move. Makes another tough shot. There aren't many guys in the NBA who are better at making these difficult shots than Mel Wright. Putting on a clinic here. McDaniels triple for the lead is good. Big shot by Jaden McDaniels, 25-27. Here is Springer with it on the screen. Drives right side. Springer, pump fake, has the defender going flying. And he's in for the layup despite being double teamed by Williams and McDaniels. 29-27, Kings ahead. Right on the drive has Cedric Hawkins open for 3. That one is off the mark. Hawkins getting some extra run today with no Jaden Prospero. As Logan is in for the slam in transition. We're tied at 29. Scoot Henderson with the assist. Good passing by Portland. Here's Mel Wright with it on the drive. He's trapped. Has Hawkins open on the wing. His 3 this time will fall. Hopkins, a former college teammate of Midnight Hopkins at Houston. The two of them came into the league together. And with just seconds to go now in the quarter. Sharp, step back, jumper, no good. And Sacramento leads by 3, 32-29. They've been able to look fine without Prospero and Embiid. And I would argue Embiid not being in the game might be helpful for them because he's been so bad offensively. There's Zay Logan in with the slam. Nice play there by Logan, fighting to the basket, coming off an inefficient Game 3. He looks better already here in Game 4. Springer with the screen on the drive. He has Griffin. That ball is tipped away, though, and stolen by Jaden McDaniels. In for the slam on the other end. This is the one part of the game that Springer would normally sit, or at least that's what he did in the last round against Utah. Portland has him playing. Interesting strategy as Hopkins connects on the triple. I said he needed to shoot the ball more because he's got a slinger. 37-31. Griffin with it on the drive and one. A big-time slam by Khalil Griffin as he dunks it on Mel Wright. 34-37. Springer with it, guarded by Wright. That is a mismatch. I kind of figured Springer would post up on him and not drive by him, but hey, that works too. 38-36. Here is Hawkins with it on the drive. He's in for the dunk. And in limited action, Cedric Hawkins has looked fairly good. He's got 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. Scoot Henderson out to Springer. Wide open 3 is good. Again, leaving Springer open on these pick and pops really is not the way to go. I get they want to prevent him from driving, but he's a great shooter. Springer, pump fake, mid-range jumper is on the money, and he's up to 15 points. 44-41 now. Here's Cone with it. Gets it over to Jimmy Butler. Butler, step back, mid-range. Jay will fall. And Jimmy Butler continuing to make a positive impact, even with his advanced age. As speaking of older players, it's Damian Lillard in with the layup. 46-43 now. Butler in the corner. Hopkins wide open. I don't know why Lillard was matched up with him in the first place. That seems like a recipe for disaster in and of itself. Butler, jumper off the mark. Good defense there by Shaedon Sharpe. And here comes Portland now on the break. Sharpe with it. Pump fake inside. Porzingis layup is good. That was a nice pass by Shaedon Sharpe, who certainly is not known for his passing ability, but he's been good as a facilitator here in both of these games in Sacramento. Hopkins, fadeaway jumper will fall. That is a 3, and it puts the Kings up by 7. Hopkins with 18 tonight as Scoot Henderson retaliates with the slam. Much quieter half scoring-wise for Scoot. He does have 9 to go along with 6 dimes. Lillard open 3. That one is no good. Portland really hasn't shot the 3 ball well so far today, as that one is stolen by Griffin. He's got Abaji wide open inside. Sacramento catches up immediately, though, and that means Portland's going to have to reset the possession. They do have a mismatch, though. Springer and Davion Mitchell, and Springer makes the layup. I don't know how many times they've matched up Davion Mitchell with Springer. I think on purposely. Probably about 30 times, it feels like. I don't get it. It doesn't work. As Kamari White is there with the layup, Hopkins with the steal. Sacramento in transition. Right, long two. That one is no good. A rare miss, especially an open miss for Amel Wright. And then on the other end, Springer is blocked. What a play by Midnight Hopkins. Two of the NBA's bright young stars colliding inside on the inbound. Scoot Henderson with it. Stuck in the corner. Will get the screen from Logan. Scoot Henderson, step back. Midi is good. And we are back within one. 54-53. Here is Davion Mitchell, guarded by Scoot Henderson. Mitchell, fadeaway triple, is good! Davion Mitchell has really impressed me as a scorer in this series. I did not know he had this type of scoring ability, but even while hurt, he's done a good job. There's Abaji with a powerful slam. Big dunk for Ochai Abaji, showing off his impressive athleticism. Amel Wright's three won't fall. Cone with the rebound. He gets the putback. As good of a rebounder as Darius Springer is, Cone is still 3-4 inches taller than him and is still going to, grab some boards over him. Around 12 seconds left in the half. Sharp has to heave this one up. It's no good. Looks like the Kings are going to hold on to the lead going into the half. The question is, can they get one more as Griffin fights for the ball? And it'll be a tip here at midcourt between Khalil Griffin and Apollo Cone. I will say, though, I give Griffin credit for trying to fight to get the possession, but let's be serious, Apollo Cone is about 7-2. Sacramento wins the tip-off. Here is Apollo Cone from half court. No good, and that'll wrap up the first half. 59-58, Sacramento with the lead in what's been a pretty competitive game so far. As you can see here, the Pistons have officially swept the Knicks, and it'll be Detroit representing the Eastern Conference in the finals. With all these teams making crazy moves at the deadline, the Pistons stood pat, and their chemistry has clearly made an impact. They swept the second seed in round 2. They swept the first seed here in round 3. Have not lost since the first round of the playoffs. As for these two teams, they're at full-on war, and the Pistons must be enjoying that, knowing as long as these two teams continue to fight, it's going to be a long wait for the Pistons in the finals as Sacramento gets the early three from Amel Wright. 59-62, here's Davion Mitchell with it. He goes inside for Kamari White, guarded by Springer. Layup is good for White, and that'll put the Kings up by 5. Dime inside for Hopkins. He's off the mark. Good defense there by Khalil Griffin. And here comes Portland looking to move quickly. Springer with it. He gets it back over to Khalil Griffin, guarded by White on the drive with the slam. Khalil Griffin knows he's faster than any 4 who's going to try to guard him, and he takes advantage. Hopkins guarded by Griffin. Hopkins inside. Layup is good. Hopkins and Griffin are really similar players. They've got similar builds. That's why their matchup has been so fun, as it's blocked by Cone inside off of the floater for Scoot Henderson. Here comes Cone with it, looking to add to Sacramento's lead. They're up by 5. Cone, pump fake. He has a wide open man. It's Hopkins for 3, and it's good. The Blazers were focusing on helping inside. They didn't see Hopkins wide open on the wing. White for 3. He's fouled on the shot. Darius Springer may be the MVP, but he's not perfect. Number 1 rule of defense, don't foul the jump shooter. It's a 10-point lead for Sacramento. They're off to a big start here in the third quarter. Why stop now? Hopkins hits the jumper. They've outscored Portland by 11 here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. They're up by 12. There's a lob to hopefully stop the momentum as Scoot Henderson sends it up for Khalil Griffin. In the last game, normally those two were connecting opposite, as it was Griffin finding Scoot. But there it's the other way around as Ochai Abaji is in for the layup. Nobody guarded him. I don't know why. 75-67 now. Mitchell with it, guarded by Scoot. Inside for Hopkins. Good cut off the ball by Midnight Hopkins. He's up to 27 points. Here's Amel Wright. Inside for Cone. Heaves it up, and it's good. And it's a shooting foul on Abaji. That looked like it was well before the shot, but okay, you do you, officials. Jimmy Butler, layup, no good. Nice defensive stop by Zay Logan. Logan has Ochai Abaji over to Marsh, inside for Springer. Great passing by the Blazers, playing hot potato, not even getting into their dribbles, and it worked. 69-80. Here is Hopkins with it, over to Amel Wright. 3 on the way, it's good. And the Kings are up by 14, their biggest lead of the night. Logan on the baseline has Shaedon Sharpe open for the layup. I want to see Sharpe take over this game with his scoring. I feel like he's just been kind of on autopilot since the start of Game 3. As Emil Wright is no good, nice defense by Logan. He gets it to Sharp with a dime for Darius Springer, who's in with the layup. 26, 11, and 4 for Springer, as it's a 10-point game. Here's Jimmy Butler with it on the drive. Butler floater is good, despite smothering defense by Shaedon Sharp. It's now a 12-point game, under 20 seconds to go here in the third. Right inside for Hawkins, loses his footing, gets it back. Layup over Lillard is good. And Sacramento is back up by 14 points. One more shot here for the Blazers in what's been a disastrous offensive third quarter. More like offensive, the way they've shot the ball here. As Sharp is in for the slam, but he didn't get it off in time. I feel like that's a perfect description of how this quarter went offensively for the Blazers, only scoring 17 points. They went 0 for 8 from 3. The perimeter shooting has been a disaster the entire game. They only went 3 for 12 in the first half. So you add this on. They're 3 for 20 from 3 in this game. If Portland had been shooting the 3 ball adequately, I think they would have the lead. But they've shot so poorly, and that's why they're down by this much. A disastrous third quarter for the Blazers, and they've got some work to do here in the fourth, and that is not how you start. Hopkins for the layup and the foul by Lillard in and one. 17-point lead now for the Kings. Griffin on the drive, gets one right back. And one of his own. He's fouled by Jalen Williams. 78-94. Here comes Scoot Henderson with it. Hands it off for Zay Logan. Logan, pump fake. Waiting for Henderson to get some space. Deep three from the parking lot. It's good. And Portland knocks down their first triple of the fourth quarter. And also their first triple of the second half. Kings looking for a three right back. It's good from Jimmy Butler. Sacramento's in takeover mode. Looking to finish this game out quick. Without two of their starters, as Springer's in with the alley-oop, off the assist by Scoot Henderson. Portland knows they've got to start this rally quickly. They know things can change fast, as we saw early in the third with Sacramento building their lead, as Hopkins is in with the layup. Again, why is he being guarded by Damian Lillard? Here is Emil Wright with it. That one is no good. It's Springer with the board, his 12th, looking to run the floor. Springer finds the open lane. He's in with the dunk. Darius Springer's looking like a running back, the way he's twisted through the gaps and is able to find the hole. 99-87, Hopkins fadeaway three is good. And the Kings are back ahead by 15. Scoot Henderson looks to call a screen. Somebody's going to get open. Springer with it, left wing three will fall. Portland is now 2 for 2 from deep in the fourth after starting the game, again, 3 for 20. Here's Mitchell inside for McDaniel. Springer tries to go for the steal, and McDaniels, because of that, gets an open look. Step back jumper is good. 104-90 now. Clock is ticking. Portland has not been able to make a dent in this scoreboard. Porzingis contested three is good. Off the assist by Springer. It's an 11-point game. If you want to start a rally, it's got to be sooner than later at this point. McDaniels three. He responds immediately. And Sacramento's back up by 14. Certainly not looking good here for Portland. Scoot looking for the screen. He's smothered by Mitchell. Still, Mitchell giving him hell. Scoot Henderson's able to get by him, though. Layup is good. What a play by Scoot Henderson. Relentless. Making sure he's able to score there. Sharp, tough three, won't fall. Logan with the offensive rebound. He has Springer in the corner on the drive. He's blocked at the rim by Kamari White. Portland's going to inbound it with around 4:20 to go, as it's Sharp who cuts inside for the dunk. He's up to 15. 109-97. Kings still lead by a dozen. Davion Mitchell. What a move on Scoot Henderson. Again, I did not know he had that in his bag. 14-point game, under 4 to go. Scoot Henderson on the drive. Looks to get one right back. He's blocked by Apollo Cone. The Fly Swatters are coming out here for Sacramento. On the inbound, Shaedon Sharp with it. He cuts right by Emil Wright. Shaedon Sharp is so good at finding the right time to cut towards the basket on those inbounds. An underrated skill of his is the shot's no good. White with the board. Cone for three. It falls. Sacramento's up by 15. I'm not sure this rally's ever going to come at this pace with under 3.5 to go. Griffin in the corner. Sharp open three. He gets one right back for Portland. He's up to 20. And the lead is back within 12. Here's Emil Wright with it, looking for the screen. Wright, spin move, seconds left on the shot clock. Step back. Bang! What a play by Emil Wright. 116-102. Cone with it inside. That one's no good. Nice defense by Tingus Pingus. He gets it over to Sharp. Sharp on the drive. Has the first step on White. And he's in with the dunk. Hopefully, these last couple of possessions can give Portland some energy offensively to try to complete an impressive comeback. Hopkins' layup is no good. It's short. And here comes Portland. Scoot Henderson, 3. Bang! He's got 19 and 10. The lead is within 10. The closest this game has been in quite a while. Hopkins with it over to Kamari White. He's blocked by Springer. Portland's in takeover mode. They might actually get something going here. Griffin on the drive. He gets it over to Porzingis. Back to Springer. Looking for the screen. On the drive. Springer. Porzingis. Layup. No good. Big miss by Kristaps Porzingis. That could have been the possession where Portland was really able to solidify momentum. And now Sacramento has it back. They're going to choose some clock. Mitchell out to Hopkins. Midnight Hopkins with it. Step back. 3 ball. No good. Nice defense by Griffin. Rebounded by Porzingis. Portland with another chance to make this game closer. Springer in the corner for Shaedon Sharp. Gets the screen. Sharp, mid-range jumper, will fall. Ever since I wanted Sharp to take over this game as a scorer late in the third, he's added 15 points. He's done exactly that. Lead is within 7. Portland with the press. Got to keep getting stops, though. The most important possession of the game. Behind the back pass to Cone. Over to Hopkins. Clock is ticking. Under a minute left on the game clock. 5 left on the play clock. Here's Hopkins with it. Hopkins, step back, 3. He's fouled! You can't make that play. That was a perfect defensive possession. But Khalil Griffin doesn't give him enough space. He didn't want Hopkins to get a good look from 3. But a mental error there by Khalil Griffin, who's usually the smartest guy on the floor. He's the last person, even over Springer, who I would expect would make a big mistake like that. As Hopkins gets all 3 at the line, it's a 10-point game, and our momentum is zapped. Now Portland is in need of a miracle. Scoot can't get the screen, tries to get something going over to Khalil Griffin. Griffin hands it off to Porzingis. Jumper is no good. Rebound by Kamari White. Portland's going to play the foul game, but I think it might be too little too late. White would make 1 at the line. It's an 11-point game. Here is Scoot Henderson looking for the screen. Scoot on the drive. Springer, 4-3. That one is no good. Rebounded by Apollo Cone. And Portland's going to continue to try to foul, but yeah, I think this one is just about wrapped up. Sacramento takes game 4. They win it 122-109. This series is tied at 2. The big winner in today's episode is Detroit because, again, they get to sit back on the couch, enjoy some popcorn. They get to rest up, and they get to see these two teams really go at it with some physical, hard-nosed basketball. And obviously, we've seen some guys get injured as a result. Sacramento takes this one after losing the last 2. It's Midnight Hopkins' world. We're just living in it. 42 points for Hopkins, again, on really efficient shooting. He shot the 3-ball a lot more, connecting 6 of 11 times, while he was good from inside the arc as well. He should still be shooting the ball more, but still, a phenomenal performance from Hopkins. He was the best player on the floor. 25 points for White on 24 shots. His efficiency was subpar in both games today. McDaniels hit some big shots off the bench. He had 15. Nobody else was really all that impressive offensively. It was really the Hopkins and Wright show, and even Wright wasn't that good. Midnight Hopkins is the sole reason why Sacramento won this game. As for us, the shooting was abysmal. I mean, I guess it was better in the fourth. We did go 5 for 7 in the final quarter, but still, 3 for 20 from 3 in the first 3 quarters isn't going to cut it. 33, 13, and 5 for Springer. He was efficient and overall pretty good. Shaedon Sharp with 24. Solid shooting. Definitely picked it up as the game went along. 19 and 10 for Scoot. He was the only guy to shoot the 3-ball well. And then Khalil Griffin was super efficient as well. He only missed 2 shots the entire game. I feel like efficiency really wasn't the issue, at least with our main guys. Now, Abaji went 0 for 4 from deep. Lillard went 1 for 5 from the field. But our lead scorers were good. It was everybody else who ultimately let us down offensively. And then obviously on the other end, it was the Midnight Hopkins show. So our series is tied at 2. We've got games 5 and 6 in the next episode. We'll see if either team can clinch a spot in the finals or if we're headed to a game 7. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.